Then when Shurpanakha came, Ram introduced, oh my dear lady, she is my wife Sita. Then Shurpanakha understood these people were playing, fool of me. And this was a very insignificant thing. How many times we make fun of people? We play pranks, we mock at them, laugh at them, insult them. Some of us had made it a hobby insulting people. Sometimes jovially, seriously. But this is the only mistake Ram did in his entire life. As per Lord Ramchandra said that. But devotees won't say that. Devotees don't see that also. But Ram told in the assembly of these great personalities and said, this one mistake I did became the reason for every calamity followed after that. So, a challenge, there is always a challenge in spiritual life, like deer appeared in Bharata Maharaja's life. The tests which we face, the challenges which we face in our spiritual life actually proves how spiritually progressed we are. And the challenges shapes the spiritual person's personality life, progressing, his progress is, perfectly carved by these challenges. Like a sculpture hammering the stone and converting into a sculpture. It will turn into a beautiful art form. The stone which gets a regular hammering will beautifully turn into an art form. And many times Krishna arranges these tests in spiritual life so that we can progress steadily. Once a sannyasi was speaking about His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and he said, the thing which this personality is going through is meant for his glorification, and that will be recorded in history. So the challenges exactly proves how progressed we are. For us, in our case, it is very simple. The challenge comes in front of us and we are knocked down, finished. And again we get up, a new challenge comes, we are knocked down. That's all. But Bharata Maharaja's life, this beautiful thing came in the form of a deer. While saying this, a wonderful thing happened in Prabhupada's life. Prabhupada just took a place for rent in Los Angeles, and they've just started their preaching in Los Angeles. And Mukunda Maharaj, at that time he was not initiated and all, but he was very attracted to Srila Prabhupada, and every evening he will come back to Prabhupada, and by the time Prabhupada would have got some typing seva for him, some typing, some writing, some preparing, these kind of sevas Prabhupada will keep, like that, and that he will come, Michael Grant, his previous name, Michael Grant will come late afternoon. So Prabhupada used to make prasad plate, separate plate, make plates for Michael Grant and keep that plate, and whatever typing things he will keep ready and things like that. And Michael Grant will come every day and do that little typing seva, take prasad, and he will at least for 30 minutes sit and discuss with Prabhupada. And at that time, Prabhupada hardly had 7 or 8 followers, that's all, nobody else. So they all had a lot of time to spend with Prabhupada. And one day, Prabhupada was sitting in a rocking chair in a small room, and Michael Grant is sitting on the floor, and they were having some very light conversation. Prabhupada was sitting on a rocking chair and he was sitting on the floor. And suddenly Michael Grant realized the things from the shelf started shaking and falling down. And he felt that his whole body is shaking. He has never experienced anything in his life like that. A kind of a current passed through his spine. He was scared to death, and within moments he could hear screams, people screaming, and he was trying to see through the window, and he could not balance himself, and he saw people all falling on the floor. And he saw Prabhupada. Prabhupada very calmly, so peaceful as always. He was rocking on his chair and chanting Krishna's name. And this continued for a few seconds. By the time Michael Grant's face at all turned pale, scared out of death, then he looked at Prabhupada helplessly. After a few seconds, it became normal, and Prabhupada said, "Oh, that was an earthquake." Very calmly, Prabhupada said that. Very composed, self-composed, cool. Prabhupada said, "That was an earthquake. It was an earthquake. It was a mild earthquake." Then Michael Grant realized, because he have never experienced earthquake many of us have never experienced earthquake in our life. So he's never experienced. So he realized how consciously this person is truthful. There is no difference between what he speaks, what he thinks, and the way he behaves. In our life, the way we speak has got a big difference with the way we think. And it has got a huge difference in the way we behave. Many of us speak Krishna conscious beautifully, study Krishna conscious beautifully, sing bhajans nicely, and even preach Krishna conscious wonderfully. But when it comes to practice, we dilute. And we think Krishna knows me personally, so no problem. I dilute. But Prabhupada, whatever he has explained in his books, it's the same thing. So Bharata took shelter of this holy river, Gandaki, and he was developing ecstatical symptoms. He was developing the symptoms. And Acharyas has explained that Bharata Maharaj almost reached a step next to Prema. He reached Bhava in the 9 steps. He reached the 8th step, Bhava Bhakti. Bhava means the moment they remember Krishna, chant Krishna's name, meditate on Krishna's form, tears will be flowing from their eyes, the body will be shivering. They will experience that feeling emotion with Krishna, experience the presence of Krishna. And we can understand Bharata reached that stage, Bhava Bhakti stage. And that's the time a deer came, a pregnant deer. What an amazing challenge he had in his life. We don't see all those things because every day we have multiple challenges and we are knocked down by every challenge in our life. But this deer came, and the pregnant deer, and the deer was about to drink water in Gandaki river, and the deer heard a roaring sound of a lion roaring just behind, and deer got scared and he threw himself, jumped inside the water trying to save herself, and in that moment she delivered baby deer. And the mother deer was taken away by waters, and this tiny one is floating on the water helplessly.